Now, what's this about you recording conversations for inspiration? How does this come about?
I have a really bad memory, terrible memory. I'm so forgetful, and I found that when we were on tour, we were just meeting just so many people. You meet so many people every day on tour. You wake up, you walk out your bus. They're fans that you go into the venue. There are new people working there every day, and you get a taxi to BBC Radio Oxford, and you meet the taxi driver. And I actually walked today, but yeah, people are telling you all of these stories about their lives and things that they've done, and they take you through all the emotions, and I wanted to remember these things that people were telling me. It was just a personal thing. It wasn't with the aim of making an album from it all. Yeah.
So the net result must be you've mostly written about people you don't know on this album than people you do. Yeah. Sometimes people take an intimate approach with this stuff, but
they do. I mean, there's definitely element writing about other people has made it quite easy to hide little bits of me in there. And like some of the songs are autobiographical, but I'm not going to say which because that's.
But you can say he or she or you, and it's about you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I know your trick. Fine.
Yeah.
But often real life is stranger than fiction, isn't it? So I suppose the crazy stuff you hear. And then there's a touch of authenticity in the process.
Yeah, there's a bit of authenticity. I mean, I wasn't really taking the exact stories and putting them into song. It was more a lot of the way that those stories made me feel most of the time. Some of them, yes, like they're people who, blacked out and woke up and thought that they'd murdered someone and have never been able to prove that to themselves, but live with this overwhelming sense of guilt. And you just think, like, how does that make you feel? I mean, God, that's ridiculous. And then people who tell you like incredibly sad stories, but while they're telling you the story, they're kind of smiling and they have an optimism about the situation. And there's weird combinations of emotions that I found were in all of these stories. And I guess my idea was to try to make new characters with new stories that covered a lot of the same territory.
But like at the same time, you'll have brand names, you'll have place names. There's like this kitchen sink verisimilitude to your songs. But at the same time, is that something you seize on? That kind of, rickety honesty about real life, which isn't romantic necessarily. It's
not. I love that kind of thing. I think it's amazing. Like on the surface for all these stories is, people often tell you things with a smile on their face and in quite a pleasant way. But then you dig deeper than that, and there's actually quite often a very deep sadness there behind the nice story. And then, another layer is what that says about their life and the rest of their life, and another layer is what that says about the world. And it's not always, it's not always that pleasant compared to what you hear on the surface.
But at the same time, you say like some people talk about sadness with a smile. Is that, and sometimes some of your songs kind of maybe there's an element of comedy in the seriousness at times. Like sometimes you're bursting your own bubble, like you don't take it too seriously. Is that important? Because these can be kind of big concepts, but sometimes it seems to be with a wink.
Yeah, I mean, I like the cheekiness, and that I think that came partly from the way that people tell these stories, as you were saying. So there's always a friendliness on the surface, yeah.
So you talk about like sitting in the bedroom writing the song. So when you're in that situation, can you think as far ahead as I need this one to be A-listed on Radio 1 and I need this one to work really well in a big kind of stadium?
Absolutely not.
Because some people must have to think like that. Otherwise...
Some people do. We're really lucky. We're on a tiny label. They're... I don't know. I think they just signed one more artist. So there are 4 artists on our label. They've released 3 albums, 2 of which are ours. It's a very small label, and with that comes a bit of freedom. I think we're in a good position. Of course, there's because we've released 2 of the records, there's a financial responsibility for us to the album has to do okay, otherwise the label folds. But you just can't think about that. All you can think about is doing something that you find interesting and something that you like, and hopefully is fresh to other people, but is fresh to you.
Now, you've just been on your American leg of the tour. How's that gone, first of all? Top 20 album in America, that's kind of insane. You'll never have to work again, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah. I could never stop working. I love it.
Have you met any super fans over there? I mean, can it get intense?
It has gotten intense.
What is the typical Glass Animals fan like that you meet? Because there's a certain type of person that is brave enough to go and say hello in the first place, but then after a while you must be able to get a kind of a feel.
Lovely. They're lovely, lovely people. In all honesty, very kind people. Of course, there's the odd.
Tell us about them, Dave.
That's what people always want to hear about. But deep down, they just mean well, and they're very nice too. But we've had fans invite us to parties after the show, and then we get to the party and it's just them, and they've cooked us like 8 cakes.
Right.
So
cake is
this
good.
happened, yeah. So lots of cake everywhere, and they're like, "Do you want a slice of cake?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." I mean, I do really love cake. It's one of my favorite things ever. But they cut you like a third of a cake and put it in front of you, and then just watch you. It's very bizarre things have happened.
How are you feeling about tonight's gig, O2 Academy?
I'm excited.
Hometown show. Does that bring something more to the table for you? Does that make it easier or harder?
Harder, I'll be honest. Yeah, I care what my friends and family think, and the people of Oxford. It's the hometown show. It's the important one. So that does, kind of turns up the nerves.
Do you ever feel like you've been away a long time sometimes when you go and you have to promote and coming back? Is it a bit weird coming back sometimes and kind of, remember us, guys?
There's an element of that, but to be honest, I tend to find it really refreshing coming back to Oxford. We've been in America. No one understands sarcasm. There's smiles everywhere. I came back to Oxford yesterday. It was ice cold, which is brilliant. The first person I saw frowned at me.
Brilliant.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm home.
It freaks me out when someone says, morning.
Morning?
They'll say, what? Hey, yeah. I don't know you. Not
Have
really.
a lovely day. It's nice for a bit, and then I just want the stubborn cynicism.
Dave, it's so nice to have you here again.
It's really nice to be back.
And we've just had such a blast playing all the new stuff. We can't get enough of it. It's been fantastic, and we're very proud and excited about what's been happening with you.
Yeah, it's been very fun, but it's so nice to be home.